The government to decide on an extension of the grouper season this week.
Got to make the best decision in the interest of the country and those who live here.
Monetary compensation for farmers affected by Sandy. The search is on for a new hospital administrator.
Process is expected to be completed very shortly.
Plus, much to look forward to from the arts this holiday season.
The audience can expect to go on an emotional roller coaster ride.
I'm Nikia DeVoe, and this is NB12 Weekend. Welcome to NB12 Weekend. Thanks for spending your Sunday evening with us. Minister of Agriculture and Marine Resources V. Alfred Gray is hoping to persuade his cabinet colleagues to extend the grouper season for 1 month in order to assist fishermen negatively impacted by the passing of Hurricane Sandy. The government is expected to make a decision on Tuesday. This as environmentalists say the season should not be extended.
I'm hoping that I could persuade them to assist the fishermen out there who are hurting, terribly so, because of the storm which recently passed. And I'm hoping that they would agree with me, and if they do, I will announce it shortly after that. If they don't, I will also announce the reason for not being able to do so. And so it's really going to be up to the cabinet to decide whether they give a month's reprieve from the closure of the season.
The Bahamas Commercial Fishers Alliance asked the government to grant a 30-day extension to the season. The group claims that fishermen suffered loss due to Sandy. The grouper season is traditionally closed from December 1st through February 28th, but if Cabinet agrees to the extension, the season will close on January 1st. However, Executive Director of Brief Casuarina McKinney Lambert says fishing during the key spawning months is detrimental to groupers and endangered species.
It is commercially extinct throughout much of the region, most of the region actually, except for the Bahamas and Belize and the Cayman Islands. And this is as a result of fishing for Nassau grouper while they're spawning. So groupers are called groupers because they group together at predictable times and places in order to spawn. And this is the only time of the year when they reproduce. So the reason behind having the closed season is to give this fish a chance to reproduce so we have more fish to eat in the future.
McKinney Lambert says she sympathizes with fishermen who were unable to work due to the hurricane, but adds that there are other species to catch during the grouper off-season.
We certainly understand that it's a challenge for fishermen during that time period to hold off. But we do have a precedent for crawfish that supports a very valuable fishery, and stone crabs to let them reproduce in peace.
According to McKinney Lambert, the Bahamas is very close to losing its grouper population as many breeding sites have been overfished. This is why Director of the Bahamas National Trust, Eric Carey, says the government should stick to the closed season. In fact, the trust is pushing for the closed season to be extended to May in the near future.
The conditions that were outlined by the Bahamas Commercial Fishers Alliance are conditions we will be faced with every year. Hurricanes, tropical storms, winter weather, etc. Groupers also face the same hardships every year, and to continue to encourage the harvesting of gravid females, groupers that have spawned and are now carrying potential offspring, it is a no-brainer. It is foolhardy. It is playing Russian roulette with the future of this species.
Gray says no voice was left unheard and his ministry has considered every side of the argument, but ultimately a decision will be made in the best interest of Bahamians. Gray also revealed that the government has decided to give monetary compensation to farmers around the country who suffered economic loss after their crops were destroyed by Sandy. However, his ministry has yet to determine the total amount of damage as assessments of the 6 major farming communities are not complete.
Abaco, Grand Bahama, Eleuthera, Cat Island, Exuma, and Long Island. And once the assessments are completed, then we will go about seeking to assist those farmers as much as we can. How much, we have to work it out after we know how many farmers are affected. because whatever our budgetary allocation is, we will have to share it amongst them. And so the less the farming amount, the more the money will be.
According to Gray, the government is also planning to assist backyard farmers who may not rely on their crops for income but farm to feed themselves and their families.
Especially with the provision of seed and seedlings to replant again, because they would not have lost much economically because they don't grow for sale. And so we certainly will consider fertilizers, seedlings, etc. for backyard farmers with the hope that they can get back into their backyard farming.
The minister says he hopes that the assessments will be completed in a few weeks. Princess Margaret Hospital could have a new hospital administrator before the end of the year, according to Public Hospitals Authority Managing Director Herbert Brown. That post has been vacant since July, when Coralie Adderley's contract was terminated just months after renewal. Brown told NB12 that the search for a new administrator is nearly complete after the review of applications from 8 individuals.
The process now is to review the applications that we would have received, which we are doing now, to determine the suitability and whether those persons would have met the prerequisites for the post. That process is expected to be completed very shortly, and then we will make a recommendation to the board for the board's formal approval. I expect, yes, that we should be in a position to make a determination. There's some consultation that obviously have to take place, but I expect that before the end of the year we should be in a position to make a determination.
At the time that Adderley's contract was terminated, Health Minister Dr. Perry Gomez said the decision to end the contract was made in the interest of the hospital and the advancement of healthcare in the country. He explained that the PHA is looking for a candidate who understands the challenges the healthcare system faces and can turn those challenges into opportunities.
We want to find somebody who's progressive in their thinking, somebody who understands the challenges that we face in the healthcare system, and that we want to be able to ensure that this is going to be somebody who will really be able to focus on the needs of the people we are mandated to serve. And I think that's going to be very critical as we look at the situation as it is today, with the cost of healthcare significantly increasing. We're going to have to find creative ways to do more with less.
Brown withheld some specific details about the new administrator post until a report can be made to the PHA board. Well, tragic news coming out of Abaco this evening as police reveal a third person died today following a 2-car collision last night. According to police, the man died as he was being airlifted to New Providence. 2 other women involved in the accident also died. Police say a gray 2002 Cadillac and black Honda Civic were driving in different directions along SC Boodle Highway around 11:45 p.m. last night when they collided head-on. The 22-year-old woman who was driving the Civic died at the scene, while the 21-year-old female passenger died a short time later at Cooperstown Clinic. Police also reporting that the 18-year-old man driving the Cadillac received minor injuries and a 17-year-old male passenger suffered a broken leg and arm. Well, still to come on NB12 Weekend, Citizens for Justice speaking out on several issues.